Hello and welcome to the Wild, Hot and Healing Book Club, where we don't just read the books, we let them change us. And every month I'm going to be reviewing one of my favourite books. You don't have to read them, you might just want to listen in and listen to the reviews, and maybe it'll encourage you to go away and read that book. I read so many that I just wanted to bring this little bit of magic into what I do, to share the books that I read with you, because I'm so passionate about some of the books I've read that have really changed my life. And today, starting with the most special book to me. This is one of my all-time favourite books. I think I have read it twice and listened to it twice on Audible. I love it that much. It literally has changed my life in so many ways. And I know that if you haven't read it, that if you do decide to buy it, that it's literally going to change yours. And I just want to take you back to the moment. And it's not one I've really spoke about a lot, but yeah, the moment when I really found this book, I was sat on my yoga mat in the kitchen trying to set up a ritual with my candles and my incense and trying to get them right. And I kept looking on the internet to see if I needed the candles in a certain position and what's the moon doing. And I was really new to this whole world, but I just felt this such deep connection to source, spirit, the witch. And I'd laid out all my candles, I'd written some intentions. I was going to burn them, and I felt so good. I went outside under the full moon. I burnt what I was releasing on a piece of paper, and I just wanted to tell someone. And this wave of loneliness hit me because I didn't feel like there was anyone in my life at that point that I could talk about that with without them thinking I was crazy or laughing or just not getting it, like not getting it at the depth of what I wanted to get them to get it and the depth of what it meant to me. And it isn't because I didn't have friends, like I had loads of friends. But at that time, I just didn't feel like I had anyone that got it. And that was because I was starting to see through everything that was around me. The systems, the stories we're being fed, the conversations that I was hearing, even in my own life, I was waking up on a drastic and fast level. Everything that I'd ever known had become a lie. And it was like I could see through things. Even when I was watching the TV, at some points when I was going through this awakening, the TV looked to me like it was a TV show. So if I was watching the news, it looked so staged to me. I could just sense these lies that were coming out of the TV, and I could just sense all these systems, and everything I was looking at was broken. And even to the point where, if you didn't know my story, I was in the Navy for 8 years, the Royal Navy, and I was starting to look at pieces of that, and it was an unraveling of my identity, of everything I'd ever known, everything I'd ever believed was starting to unravel, because I was just seeing the world through different eyes. And because I was waking up at this fast and drastic level, I just felt like I was in a world where I didn't belong. Like I couldn't speak about what I was feeling. I couldn't speak about what was happening because nothing would have made sense to anyone. And I felt part of it was shame. And I remember journaling in my notes on my iPhone, and I still have this note. And this was at the very start of 2020. And I put, COVID is an act of terrorism, much like any acts of terrorism, any terrorist groups that we've ever had. This time it's COVID. And I just wrote that. And at the time that felt, it was bonkers, but I'd had this like message come through to me so deep and true that I felt like it was a virus, but it wasn't what we thought. It was actually something somewhere was coming to attack us and to change humanity. And I could sense, and I also wrote onto that note, this is a science experiment. Now, today's episode isn't for me to go into my beliefs on that, but that was the pivotal moment where I was like, I think so differently to everyone else. And I couldn't explain where this awakening had come from, because you're talking to someone who was very into the royal family, was in the military, really saw that as my truth. And I did listen to the news. I used to pride myself in getting the newspaper every morning and reading it and listening. And it was like, whoa, stop. This is not true. And I had this mass awakening where I just felt nothing around me was real, and I couldn't speak out about it. And in the midst of all this, I was in the midst of burnout, so an identity shift as well. And I just had this deep ache for something real, for something more, something with more depth. And then I was just scrolling on Facebook one day, and I just saw this book, Light is the New Black. And I can't tell you what made me want to pick it up, but it did. And I ordered the book and it cracked me wide open. It didn't just inspire me, it peeled a layer off me, and it gave me permission to trust what I'd been feeling. It showed me that if people's words don't match their vibration, it's okay not to trust them and to shine anyway. And as the first time I was actually listening to this book on Audible, I was listening to the voice of the author, and she's an Australian lady, Rebecca Campbell, and everything she was saying was hitting me. And there's a few parts of this book that just resonated with me so much. And there's a part in it at the beginning where she's talking about coming out of the spiritual closet, of literally being, it's okay, I'm just going to step out of this closet and admit that I'm spiritual, I'm woo-woo. And she was talking about feeling this deep connection to the rose, to the flower, and spending her lunchtimes going to Hyde Park in London and reading the books, writing her book and doing her work, and stepping out of her spiritual closet. And in the process of, she talks about the process of her getting her book deal for this book. And she goes to Hay House, which is a very famous author. It was Louise Hay's book company. She was the author of You Can Heal Your Life. And Hay House are very famous for books of personal development, spiritual growth. So she was looking at getting a book deal with them. And she went to them and said, my spirit guides have told me that I need to be here. And the people looked at her and said, I think your spirit guides are telling you to get out of your own way. And then that's what hit me. I was the one standing in my own way of my own beliefs of where I wanted to do and how I wanted everything in my life to look, from my business to my personal life to how I showed up in the world. I needed to just get the fuck out of my own way. And then there was a sentence in the book that shook me. And it was one of the prayers that's in the book that she writes, and it's called, I pray you hit rock bottom. Now, this didn't hit me, not because I wanted pain, because it was from that rock bottom that I was able to begin to rise. And reading this prayer allowed me to realise that hitting rock bottom was where I was heading and where I needed to go, to be able to help me find my voice, to help me call in my people, to help me rise. So if you've ever felt like you're too much, too sensitive, too awake, too anything, then this episode is for you. So I'm going to start by reading that prayer. I pray that you hit rock bottom, which is on page 69. I pray that you hit rock bottom, the most painful time of your life. I pray that you feel alone, isolated, deserted, and you discover what you thought was rock bottom is actually a ledge, so you can come crashing down even further. And as you land, you are cracked open into 1 billion pieces, and have no idea how to put them back together. I pray that while you are down there in the depths, the only person you have to keep company is you. I pray that you choose to gather up the pieces, and with no idea and in what order they begin putting them back together, one by one. Just right. I pray for foundations mightier than the Acropolis, and an inner light that shines so bright it dazzles the corneas of anyone who cannot handle your bright. I pray for skin as comfortable as a 10-year-old in a tracksuit on a Saturday night, and an inner light so bright that you can always find your way home. I pray for the triumph of your soul and the return of you. And it was that really did change everything for me. I realised that I was constantly looking for external, but the peace I was only ever going to find was within. The peace I was only ever going to find was from me, from myself, trusting myself, being myself and shining my light. And that's what this book is really about for me. It's not a teaching book, it's a remembering book. It's feminine, it's spiritual, it's intuitive, it's permission giving, it's empowering, and it is a guide for when you're cracking open. It's a guide for when you want to be cracked open. It's a guide for when something is not working in your life and you know it needs to change. This book is a guide that's going to light you up to change, to release what's no longer serving you. It's a guide that's going to guide you home. Light is the new black. The title says it all. And some of my favourite themes and quotes from here, and is one that I always remember, and actually since reading these parts of it, I see people differently now. And this was the real connection that I had with, say, someone that was famous. And I'm just going to mention him now because when I read this book and I read these lines, there was just one person that's famous to me that stood out as being this person versus the people that are not. And that's Lewis Hamilton. There was just something about the line that I'm going to read now that I was like, that's him. He is the embodiment of light. And I don't watch a lot of news. I don't read gossip mags or anything like that. And I am a Formula One fan, so I do see him a lot. But I can just see this light in him. And this book allowed me to feel this connection to my light, this connection to his light, and to look towards him as a leader of how he holds himself in conversation, how he holds himself with adversity, and how he is as a man, as a person. And I don't know him, I know him through a screen. But that's the type of leader that I'm looking towards, a leader that is a light, that is the light, that's words match their vibration. And that is what hit me. Do your words match your vibration? Are the people that are talking to you, are their words matching their vibration? Because the minute I've said that to you now, you're going to go away and you're going to hear someone speak and you're going to say, their words don't match their vibration. You know it now. You know it. You feel it. I'm giving you a permission slip to be able to feel, does someone's words match their vibration? Do they match it? Maybe they do. And that's the people you're looking for. You're looking to find the people whose words are matching their vibration. If you are speaking and sharing something, but your body is physically vibrating at a different level, your words aren't matching your vibration. If you're speaking about alignment, about light, about being love and truth and honesty, your vibration has to be a match for that. And if someone's body is not a vibrational match for what they are saying, you're going to feel it in your soul. You're going to feel that they're talking about truth, they're talking about light, they're talking about honesty, but on a cellular level, the vibration's not true. And this is what I was feeling out there in the world. I was feeling people talk and their words it wasn't matching up. And it's like the white lie became one of the worst things that I could be around, that I could hear. And once you hear it, once you feel this, words match vibrations, you cannot unfeel it. You will know instantly when someone's speaking and it is not the aligned truth of what they're saying, if their words are not matching their vibration. And obviously the part I just read to you about praying that you hit rock bottom, that meant a lot to me, that I realised that I couldn't stop. I needed to not stop myself. I could feel myself heading down. I needed to let myself fall. I needed to fall. And when I fell and when I was there, I needed to trust that it was all going to be all right. It was going to be a ledge. I was going to rise out of it. I was going to be seen, come back as a new version of Victoria. And part of this book as well is about being a light worker, being the light, shining your light and fucking anyone that doesn't like it. It's not your problem. You get to shine your light anyway. You get to shine your light no matter what someone else wants you to shine. You get to shine your light. And it's not your job. You have to just shine anyway. And you have to be the light that paves the way for others. Your words match your vibration and your light paves the way for others to do the same. Because when you shine your light, you give the permission slip to others to shine theirs. Me stepping up here, doing a podcast, putting myself out on social media, choosing to be my authentic self and to talk about what I want to talk about. I am shining my light and I am giving permission to anyone else that is watching or listening to shine their light too. We all get to be leaders in light. We get to lead the light. And one vision that came to me one night when I was meditating after this book was this vision of, I don't know if it was a past life, I'd actually just done some breath work. And I was this fairy, like Tinkerbell. And I've always resonated with the fairies. I've definitely had connection to them in the past or present. And I was this little fairy that was going round up to people and like, poof, dropping some fairy dust on them. And as I dropped the fairy dust on them, they'd light up a little bit. And then once I dropped my fairy dust on them, I gave them the magic power for them to be able to drop fairy dust on other people. And the more people that I dropped fairy dust on, the more people that they were able to drop fairy dust on. And this gift kept going and going across the world. And I could see these clouds of puffs of light lighting up across the world as people were dropping fairy dust on each other from me dropping fairy dust on them. And that is the light. That is what we need. We need leaders of light. We need leaders that are living in truth and from the heart and leading from the heart and shining their light and allowing others to do the same, showing them that it's okay to shine their light too. And I remember when I first heard this, shine your light. What the fuck does shine your light mean? What light? I haven't got a light. You are light. We are light. That is what you are. You come here to have a soul experience in a body, but you are light. That's what you are. And you shine by being you, by being the authentic version of you, by not holding back, by embracing what you've got, by not trying to change what you've got, by not trying to be something different, by just being you and accepting who you are, as you are, the shape, the size, whatever you are, accepting it and being it and shining the light as you are. That is shining your light. And it's just doing what the fuck you want anyway, but doing it with love in your heart, doing it because I'm going to do this and it's going to inspire and lead someone else to do the same. Leading from your heart, leading from light, from love, was one of the biggest lessons that I got from this book. And I'm going to read a couple of passages from this book for you now that really hit home with me. The world needs you cracked open. There's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. Be open to being cracked open, wide open. It is the difficult times that help us grow in leaps and bounds, and in days and ways we could only dream possible. But first they have to crack us open, and sometimes it hurts like hell. It's nature's way, and whether you let it happen or not, it's going to happen. So surrender to the process and let life do its thing. It'll be worth it. It's how the light gets in. And this as well was one I loved about, and this really stuck with me, this passage here, because we are born into this world as pure innocence. You are born, you are portaled into this lifetime as a baby that doesn't know anything other than love. That's the first emotion that you're going to feel when you land on earth. When you come, you're portaled in, the first thing you feel is love. And you learn the patterns and beliefs that you pick up from your caregivers, from your parents, from school, from people around you. You learn to have these insecurities. You learn to not love yourself. You learn anger. You learn fear. You learn all these things, whereas it's not naturally in you. When did you stop being you? Babies aren't afraid to shine their light, and that's the reason we can't take our eyes off them. However, as life goes on, we experience things that eventually lead us to retract or alter the way we show ourselves to the world, usually based on a belief that something must be wrong with us. We lose contact with the authentic spirit within us, which has been carefully sculpted over lifetimes, and keep our authentic life under a bushel. And then this is important to remember, that you weren't born with the fears, the beliefs, the anxiety. You've picked that up along the way. And this is an unraveling. This is what this book could be a start of for you. It could be the start of an unraveling of you unlearning the patterns that you've learned. And the patterns we've learned, they're not through love. If we learn fear, we learn anxiety. Perhaps we learn it from our mother because our mother is so fearful that we're going out without her. And she learned that because she lost something when she was young. It's never without love. But our own fears and insecurities are what we're passing on to our children and our grandchildren. And we get to unlearn this and we get to unpick it and we get to shine our light in a different way. See the light in others. See the light in others and treat them as if it's all. One of the greatest offerings we can give another person is to truly witness them. When we truly witness another, we are actually witnessing the soul and light in them. Such a simple and effortless act can have a life-changing impact. When we acknowledge the gifts of another, we raise them up and encourage them to shine a little bit brighter. This act not only feels wonderful, but is impossible to do and to not light you up to. And that's it. It's about seeing the light in others. Even if they are showing you anger, even if they are showing you fear, see the light in them. There is a light that needs to get out, and they're just blocking it. They're blocking it by using fear. They're blocking it by being angry. And just see the light in others. And this was a big pivotal moment for me as well, because I realised that we are all just souls on a human experience. We're all just trying to get along, and we've all got a light inside of us. And actually, if we all were shining our light as bright as possible, there'd be a hell of a lot more love in the world. There wouldn't be anger. You wouldn't be angry because someone was showing up on Facebook and putting a picture of their new car, because you'd be proud of them for shining their light and doing their thing to buy their new car. You wouldn't be angry that someone has done bad to you, because you'd realise that they just have been holding their own light inside them, and that's why they were able to show anger towards you, because they didn't have the ability to be able to just shine light and shine love. So back to you talking about people who you are around and seeing the light in them. There's a page here calling the 5 people. Jim Rohn said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." And that's a really powerful statement, something I've really remembered. And vibrationally speaking, if you have a group of people that are the highest vibration and the lowest vibration, will always cancel each other out. So if you're constantly spending time with people who bring you down, you will be brought down. If you are spending most of your waking hours with people who don't take your dreams and beliefs seriously, you are more likely to start doubting them too. Likewise, if you surround yourself with people who think anything is possible, it will rub off. When we are on the spiritual path, we are in a constant state of growth. This can mean that we outgrow relationships that were once a big part of our lives. When this happens, it's hard not to cling on. However, the tighter we try to hold on to people who are no longer an energetic match with the life we are called to live, the further away from our true path and true selves we stray, and the further they stray from theirs. Letting go of a relationship that no longer serves us doesn't signify a lack of love, rather the opposite. There are times when we need to let go and leave space for new people to come in. Some people come into our lives for a moment, some for a chapter, and some for a lifetime. If you follow your true path, you will never be alone, for it will be filled with people who are walking right alongside you. That is so true. Sometimes we're clinging on to relationships because of the fear of being lonely. Actually, what if we let it go? What if we let them go? Because maybe they're bringing us down, maybe they don't believe in us. And it's about being careful of who you're around sometimes and who you share your goals and dreams and aspirations with. Because if you're sharing it with someone who doesn't hold the same beliefs as you, they're going to pull you down. It's just been really mindful of who you're talking to your dreams and goals about, and who you're sharing them with, and who's going to fire you up and who's going to bring you down. And another thing that this book as well showed me was having that non-negotiable spiritual practice. Now, there's these memes on Instagram about people getting up at 4:45 and God knows what they're doing for 3 hours. But having a non-negotiable spiritual practice is about having a practice that serves you. Now, that might be meditation, it might be going for a walk in nature. It's something every day that is not getting pushed to the side when life gets busy. And for me, that does look like meditation at the moment, but it's about finding what it is for you, and it's spending some time with your soul. It might be dancing, it might be walking, it might be meditation, it might be prayer, it might be breath work. It's something, and it doesn't need to be hours. It could be just 20 minutes a day, 20 minutes non-negotiable of you spending time alone. And if it's a walk, maybe it's a walk with no stimulation, so no music, no audio books, just you and your thoughts. If it's meditation, maybe it's just getting up 10 minutes earlier to meditate. It's having that non-negotiable spiritual practice so that you can listen to your soul, because your soul is wanting to guide you. And that's what this book really showed me. Your soul is wanting to guide you. It's wanting to take you on a journey. And that's what this book is for. It's for the woman in the middle of an awakening, the one who feels like she doesn't belong, the one who's waiting for a sign that it's safe to shine. And I'm going to leave you with 2 more bits. So they say from Alice in Wonderland, you're mad, you're bonkers, you're completely off your head, but I'll tell you a secret, all the best people are. And just be your weird. Embrace your weird, because when you embrace your weirdness and you come full throttle out of the spiritual closet and proudly own it, you will attract the people that are around you, that want to be around you. And don't be afraid to be you, because being you is what the world needs, and that's why you're here. And the minute I started being me, I called in more of a community. I trusted my voice more, and I stopped waiting to feel ready. And I realised that I was a light worker. I was here to light up the world in a different way. I was here to show women there's a different path. It doesn't have to be the path of fear and anxiety and questioning and no depth. So, letter to a light worker. This is the dawn of a new day and the day of a new dawn. You have the power to spark global change just by being you. Every decision you make creates a ripple in the interconnected sea that joins all life. There is nothing too big or too small. Every conscious act counts. Follow what lights you up and what makes you feel expansive. Don't worry about what it is, what people will think, or the way it should be done. Just lose yourself in the doing and invite the universe to work through you. Go in every day. Sit down with yourself and listen. Your inner guru should be the only authority of your life. Ask it to light your way. Your soul knows the fastest way home. Act on its whispers, especially when it's telling you something you don't want to hear. Trade in controlling and forcing for allowing and trusting. The universe is waiting to support you, but first you've got to leap. Breathe through your fear or speak it out loud, but whenever you don't hide it away. Have a cup of tea with it and see it for what it really is. An invitation to expand. Accept the invitation. To expand doesn't mean you mustn't push your energy onto someone else. Shining can happen from a quiet space too. You don't need to be an extrovert to do it. The universe is expanding every second. No matter how much you grow, there is always going to be more than enough room. To be light doesn't take strenuous effort, but it does require you to show up. Show up now, and now, and now. You're not normal, you're extraordinary. Your attempt to fit in will never work. You were not born to live in a box. Overspill, expand, take up space. Anything less will be a tragic waste. Embrace the energy that wants to come through you. There are books waiting to be written, speeches waiting to be given, mountains waiting to be climbed, and babies waiting to be birthed. Raise your hand. Take a great big leap and enjoy the ride. This is the dawn of a new day and the day of a new dawn. Thank you for lighting the way. So this book was a portal back to the truth, back to me realising that all I ever needed was me. And when I was me, I was going to call in the people around me that I needed. And that we are here for a reason and our light is needed. We all have a soul purpose. We all have a soul purpose. And you don't have to wait to be ready because you already are. And just remember what I said about your words matching your vibration. Do your words match your vibration when you speak? Do other people's words match their vibration? Who are you hanging around with? Are you hanging around with people that light you up, that fill you up, that encourage you to be bigger, better, brighter? Or is it time to listen to your soul's whisper? And maybe your soul is saying it's time to take a few steps back from certain energies and to embrace more different types of energies that are going to light you up. And what is your soul calling you to do? Just do not dim your light. You're never alone. You're never alone. You're part of the universe. And the universe wants you to shine your light. If you've loved this episode, please share it with a friend. Share it on the internet. Share it on Instagram. Put a screenshot on. Please let people know about this book club. I appreciate every message that I get about the podcast. If you drop me a message on Instagram, I'm Wild and Healing. You can look at the show notes to find out other ways to work with me, to sign up to my newsletter and ask me any questions. But please don't be a stranger. Shine your light. Let me know how this episode impacts you. If it does make you shine your light just that little bit brighter. And just to let you know, the book for June is going to be The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which is an absolute game changer for presence, embodiment, and peace in the deep mess. So that's The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Remember, you don't need to read the book. I'm going to review it for you. I'm going to talk about it. Maybe some of these episodes are going to inspire you to read the book yourself, or perhaps what you hear from me is enough of the wisdom that needs to be heard by the world. Again, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon.